Hello, and thank you for joining me for Time Together with Upcycling. Today we are finishing up what we finished up last week. We were working on our clay pieces, and so what I'm doing is I am going to be showing you how they've progressed. I had a few clay pieces that I had, what do you call it? That I hadn't put any cover on. You got to see how those dried and then how the bottoms of them dried. And then I do have a couple of clay pieces that I went ahead and I did after I, finished presenting last Friday. And I've been trying to keep them covered and trying to keep them drying slowly. So we'll take a look and see what those look like and cover those back up. And then, of course, we have Flower with us. Flower. Someday we will fix her up again. Where did she get beaten up? Right there. So one of the days when I pull out my acrylic paints and stuff, I'll go on ahead and I will show you how we fix up Flower. So again, this is Mary, and thank you for joining me on Upcycling. And that's Upsychelly, how it's pronounced. It sounds like upcycling, but without the NG. And today is Motivation Monday, so appreciating you coming and joining us today for a little bit. I always like to go over my ingredients that I used for my clay, and that was basically flour, water, a little bit of oil, a dash of lemon, mostly flour. I eyeball the amounts. That's not to say that you wouldn't want to measure them. You may want to measure them. You may be chasing your tail less than I have to chase my tail. Tools you'll want to have. So tools you want to have on hand are going to be like a little bit of oil, a brush, like if you're using these molds and stuff to help it to let go of the mold when you're trying to unmold it. And here, I do want to say one more thing flip this up to ask you to please subscribe to Upcycly on YouTube. And of course, please follow Upcycly on LinkedIn and Facebook. So right now, I'm going to go on ahead and, also at the end, we are going to try to make a couple of leaves from clay that we have from last week. So here is the first set of flowers that I believe we had done these on Thursday. So I had left them uncovered. I'd already poked them out. And as you can see, it's already starting to grow mold on it. I'm probably going to need to hit everything up with a little bit of, what's that called? Vinegar? Yep, this one too. I wonder what will vinegar do to this? And I need to actually get that into a spray bottle. So here's to show that I did not put enough, what would you call it? Vinegar or lemon juice in my clay for it not to get moldy. Sadness. And I thought this thing was smelling a little off. All right. So here is the next one. This one was on Friday, and I hadn't really taken it out to show her anything. See, it's starting to get a little dot of mold right over here. Right. And then, will this one have mold? Yes or no? I don't see any. Will it have mold now that I've reached into it and I've taken it out into the air? I don't know. I hope not. And last but not least, here we have our final two. Forgot what this paper is called, but it is one of those weird sticky papers that it clings to you. Is it cling wrap? All right, so here you can see it's still shiny moist in the center, and this is from Friday. Today is Monday, so this has been sitting here for quite some time, and it is actually quite moist in there. So as you can tell, you can see the only places that are getting, that are drying are the spots that, I guess have been touching air. But right now, at this point in time, it doesn't look like there's any mold growing on there, nothing. So I'm going to go ahead and cover that back up. And let's just take a look at this other one. Why not? All right. I had a good stick to it. Interesting bottom that it's forming, kind of like a concave bottom. And let's see. Ooh, that looks very, very prettily formed. Like it doesn't look like it has any grooves in it. It doesn't have, like, see how this one has cracks in it? And how do we get this to focus better? Yeah, there we go. You see the cracks? And that's going to be okay. Because again, I am painting these and they're going on the bottom of a vase or of a holder for sunbursts. All right, so what I am going to do tonight is I am going to go ahead and make a couple of leaves. And so to make the leaves, just grab a little bit of clay. And then what I do is I take the clay and I just kind of warm it up by squeezing it together. Kind of warm it up by Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on ahead and I'm going to take this and break it off into two pieces. Now what I'm going to want to try and make is leaves. Now what's one thing that strikes me about my favorite leaves are that they look like spades or hearts. So that's what I do is I start shaping it into a type of a spade or a heart. All right. Kind of get it rounded out on the sides. And there we go. What's different about these leaves is that they dry upwards. So I go on ahead and I take and I put them like on a marker. And I had done a little bit of, I guess, design on the other one. So let's see if we can try to maybe get some kind of a design on this one. Oops. And that is my leaf shape. Now remember, these are not coming out to look to be full scale. They're going to be painted black. This probably looks a little bit more like a ravioli, but it is going to be my leaf. A leaf, one of many. And that is how I did that leaf. All right, I'm going to try one more leaf. Basically, just let it hang out in the air. And so you see, just going ahead and I place it just like that on top of a marker. And that's just how it's going to stay until it's drying. Do I want to cover it with a saran? Maybe on the next one. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and we have another. So we're going to take this and make it into a heart shape. There we go. You see how that leaf is already forming? Make it come out just a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. There we go. And then place that on my utensil. And then see if we can make this into a nice tip. Okie dokie. And we'll put this into a tip even more. Why not? We're ready here, right? All right. And what are we going to do? We're going to go ahead and we're going to let this dry for however long it needs to. So I'm just trying to even out some edges. All right. And then what I do, I just place that in there. Upright, stays upright, and it's going to dry. Oop, this fell. And putting this back up. Wow. And that is how I am making leaves for our stand. I'm thinking I'm going to be using the other side. If you want to see the leaves that I've already made, here is one of them. And this was the side that was against the pen or marker, whatever it was I used. And then this was the side that I tried to create lines on. So I think I'm going to be using this side. I don't know. I'll find out. I have all of these that are already made. And I'm looking forward to making a few more. I'm probably going to make one more tray of these flowers so that I have enough to choose from for when I go to glue flowers onto the base of the Starburst holder that I'm making. So again, thank you so much for joining us on Time Together with Upcycling. Today we went over what clay looks like after it finishes drying, especially if you don't use enough lemon juice on it or vinegar to prevent mold from growing. I am going to be treating these pieces that got a little bit moldy, you can see the green on there, with vinegar to see what happens to them. Does that destroy them? Does that clean them up? What's going to happen? These are the two first fenders, so we'll see what happens then. But Anywho, regardless, once we're done with all of that, then what we're going to do is we're going to go on ahead and paint them black and put them on our vase for our sunbursts, and that's it. So if you are on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button. If you are on LinkedIn or on Facebook, hit the follow button. And I want to thank you so much for taking the time out to watch Time Together with Upcycling. We had a blast and look forward to bringing you more. Tomorrow we are going to see how our moldy roses fare after they've already been treated with what's that called? Treated with vinegar. All right. Thanks so much. Have a wonderful day, everyone.